Happy holidays, y'all. Grayson here and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to show you how I make my 3 favorite no-bake holiday treats. The first one we're going to start with is what I call my holiday bark. It is easy and delicious and it's very festive looking. So I use this Ghirardelli white chocolate and we're going to be using these pistachios and the craisins. You think about it, white, green, and red. Very festive and very holiday. Now these pistachios are already shelled, salted, and roasted. We're going to go ahead and give these craisins a chop. So next we're going to go ahead and give our pistachios a chop. So these are roasted, salted. These have already been shelled. And again, I give these a rough chop. I just don't like big pieces. Okay, I think that's good enough. The first thing I'm going to do is create my double boiler. So I have a small saucepan with just a touch of water in it. The reason I do that is because I don't want my mixing bowl that's going to sit on top to be in the water. So we're going to bring this water to a boil, and then once we reach a boiling point, I'll turn the heat down probably to low. Now that our water's boiling, we're going to go ahead and bring this down to a low heat. Place our mixing bowl on top. It doesn't take it long for it to start melting, and once it gets started, this is a pretty quick process. So you want to go ahead and line a cookie sheet with parchment paper so the chocolate is ready, it's nice and melted and ready to go. So now I'm going to pour this onto the parchment lined cookie sheet. So next we're just going to empty all of this out. Now I usually make mine really thin. Okay, so the first thing that I do is take my pistachios and I just sprinkle them over. And I always get along the edges because you don't want just a piece of chocolate around the edge. And sometimes I love to cut some of these a little smaller because a little bit of the dust helps to get on those edges. Y'all, this is so good. I would highly encourage you to try this to make it, and everybody loves this holiday bark. And I try to get every bit of the edge. And you can add anything you want to this bark, but I love this because it's 3 ingredients and it's very festive. So one thing I do is I flatten my hand and I lightly touch. This pushes the pistachios down into the chocolate. And again, I spread my chocolate very, very thin because I don't like big, thick, honking pieces of chocolate. I like it nice and thin. So you just widen your hand and there's no chocolate on my hand. So whenever you widen your hand out flat, you get them all in the chocolate. And that way, when you go to break this up, all the pistachios don't fall off. So next we're gonna come in with our craisins and watch this begin to take life with the red. This is what makes this real holiday, y'all, is that it's the white, green, and the red. This has become one of my holiday favorites. And like I said, I get requests for this year after year. The first year I made this and my mother tried it, she said she wanted her own private reserve. So usually I try to get her a big tin of this every year. But I think she's actually started making it herself. She loved it so much. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take a flat hand and just smash this right down in. So then we're going to pop this in the freezer. So now that the holiday bark is ready, it's been in the refrigerator for about an hour. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. I'll just go ahead and take it off the parchment paper. You can see how thin, nice and thin it is. And that's just the way I like it. So you just begin to break it up into small bite-sized pieces. And you can see just how festive this is. This makes a great gift. It makes a great hostess gift. Everyone loves homemade Christmas bark, especially me. And you just can't go wrong with it. And actually, I think I'll go ahead and take a bite of it. Mmm. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Y'all have got to try this. I'm not even kidding. This is the best bark. I usually make 6 pans of this a year, and I give it to friends, family, co-workers. And I also picked up these nice festive holiday tins. I like the ones with the window in them because you can actually see the bark inside. And I've already lined it with a little piece of parchment paper. So if you are curious where I may have picked these nice little tins up, I find them everywhere. I find them at Michael's, Walmart. I happened to be in Dollar General one day and spotted these and went ahead and grabbed them. I mean, they were very inexpensive and they make a great presentation. And again, you can see the bark through the window. And it just says Merry Christmas on the front of it. And they have a nice tartan plaid on the side. So. I think I'm gonna make this my private stash. Hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna start on my next favorite holiday treat. Now this is what I call chocolate truffles. It is a simple, easy recipe that calls for 3 ingredients. I use regular Oreos, a whole package. I use 1 block or 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I also use this almond bark. Now the reason that I use the almond bark in this recipe is that I found that it's easier for coating purposes. The first step is to get these Oreos chopped up. So I'm going to use this food processor. It's a little faster and easier. The whole package. And one for me. And I'm just going to pulse these. Unplug. Now you put the whole cookie in. You put the filling, everything in. And you want this to be pretty much dust. And I think that is perfect. It looks just like soil or dirt. You want it to be minced up. You don't really want any chunks. And then all of the filling in the Oreos just kind of incorporate. So I think that's perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our cream cheese. Next, we're going to add our Oreos to our mixing bowl. Those are perfect. You almost can't crush these enough. Then we're going to add our 1 block or 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. Now that's important. Make sure it's very well softened. And we're going to use our paddle attachment. Okay, let's see what we've got. That looks perfect. You see how it just looks like brownie mix? So it's all come together. It's pliable. It's perfect. So next, we're just going to get this paddle off of here and we'll start the next step. So the next step is to take a parchment lined cookie sheet and we're just going to begin to grab small little pieces and just roll it into a ball. I just use my hands. This for me works easier. And you just want to try to make them about the same size. Some of them will be smaller, some will be larger, and it just all depends. I kind of like them just small bite size. All right, so there's 6. Okay, that took about 10 minutes and we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 dozen exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in the refrigerator. You wanna chill these for 30 minutes or up to an hour before we dip them in chocolate. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and melt this almond bark. Okay, so this is beginning to melt very well. We're almost there. Okay, so I just popped these out of the refrigerator and they are nice and firmed up. We've got about 4.5 dozen exactly. So I usually do about 3 at a time. And then I just begin to kind of plop them right out. Okay, so next we're going to be doing our white chocolate almond bark to dip the other 2.5 dozen in. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the next step is to go ahead and get these decorated. So I'm just gonna kind of cross hatch these. So now we're going to get started on our third and final holiday treat. This is one of my favorites. These are what I call cherry bombs. We're going to start with a 10-ounce bottle of Marchino cherries, chopped and well drained. Now I usually even pat these dry with paper towels or else your candy's going to come out too liquidy. Next, we're going to have a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, about 3 cups of chopped pecans. We have a 14-ounce bag of shredded coconut sweetened. I have 1 pound of powdered sugar. I also have vanilla extract, 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup. And then we also have our melting chocolate. In this case, I'm going to be using almond bark. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do with this recipe, with these cherry bombs, is go ahead and get our maraschino cherries chopped. Now I've drained most of the juice off of these, but again, they've been soaking in this liquid for a while. So now I go ahead and mince these really well because I love cherries, but I just don't like big, huge chunks of anything in my treats. So I've been making these cherry bombs for years, and again, these are so good and they're very, very simple to make. Okay, those look great. Those look about perfect. It's just a really fine chop. So I take paper towels and I just put these on the paper towel. And I just kind of press them and look at all of that liquid that comes out. One more paper towel now. These are doubled up. And I'm just going to transfer them to another paper towel just to get any excess juice off of them. Okay, those look really well drained. So now that our cherries are chopped and well drained, we're going to go ahead and chop our pecans. Now we need 3 cups There's 1 cup. That's 2 cups, 3 cups. Now let's get it all mixed together. Our 3 cups of chopped pecans. Next is our 14 ounces of shredded coconut sweetened, a pound of our powdered sugar. Let's go ahead and use our paddle attachment. Now I do not want to start this on high. One can of sweetened condensed milk. Okay, let's go ahead and get this mixed in. Next, we're going to add our melted butter. And 1 tablespoon of vanilla. We need to scrape down our bowl real well. Okay, now we're just going to add our cherries in. Let's stop and scrape our bowl. Okay, that looks to be about perfect. You just want everything well incorporated. So what we want to do with this mixture is you want to go ahead and pop this in the refrigerator for up to an hour, or if you're on a time crunch, you can put it in the freezer for 10 or 15 minutes, because we need this mixture to be a little bit more solid in order to roll it into balls, because it has butter in it. Let's go ahead and pop this entire bowl in the refrigerator. Okay, so the cherry bombs have been chilling in the refrigerator for about an hour or so. We're gonna go ahead and get these scooped out in small balls. So I'm gonna use this melon ball scooper. So I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna plop it out in my hand and roll it. And there's 1. Okay, so these cherry bombs have been in the refrigerator chilling for like the last hour. So now it's time to go ahead and get these dipped in chocolate. So you want to make sure that you always chill these cherry bombs for at least an hour, because they have butter in them. And if the butter is room temperature, then they begin to fall apart as you dip them in chocolate. So I always make sure that I leave these in the refrigerator for at least an hour, and you can touch them to make sure that they're nice and firm. So let's go ahead and get these rolled in chocolate. Okay, the chocolate's perfectly melted. So I throw maybe 2 in at a time. And again, you want to work fast because these have butter in them. Okay, so I have all of these cherry bombs dipped in chocolate, and we're gonna go ahead and pop these in the freezer. So just to recap, we have our holiday bark here. We have our chocolate truffles here and here. Now these were dipped in dark chocolate and piped with white chocolate. And these were dipped in white chocolate and piped with dark chocolate. And then we have our cherry bombs here. These are my 3 favorite no-bake holiday treats that I'm sure you, your friends, and your family are gonna love. I wanted to show you how easy these are to make. They are delicious. I get requests for these year after year, and that's gonna do it for today's video. I certainly appreciate you watching this video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And if so, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it helps me to continue to grow my channel and bring more content like this to you all. And from my family to yours, happy holidays, and I will see you in the next video.